Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Zak Najor on his home studio.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine that you mentioned process, and we definitely love to talk about that, like kind of get into it.
Yeah.
That process, I'm wondering, how that might differ from, your work with the All Stars or, Tiny Universe, just different group, maybe different like point of access to ideas and that kind of thing.
Well, it was 100% different process because when you're in a band, and you're younger, a lot of times you feel just sort of overlooked and it's hard to get your ideas across. So at that time, I don't think I could have written a song and had it accepted by the band. I really had to fight to get my ideas in. And, we always collaborated on things here and there. So I'm no victim, but I think the reason why I had my own studio is because I did want an outlet to be able to do things my way, according to what, um, I thought. So my process was like to arrange music that I would want to play consistently. Um, you know, when I first started touring and stuff, I was always thrown into the fire as like a new style of music or a new, like having to expand, my taste and these kinds of things. I mean, when I initially started, I really aligned myself more with Gray Boy and just like making more like, for lack of a better, like hip hop beats, with, for me, that just made sense to me. And I heard that on the radio a lot, like in 1991, 92, 93, when R&B and hip hop started blending. And it just made so much sense because it almost felt like you were playing a sound that was very popular on the radio, but like having jazz on top. But the thing is, when you get into a band, then there was this expansion of taste where you had to like get into more of the roots of everything. And that was hard. That was a hard thing to do. Um, I remember like we would be in front of like hundreds of people and they'd want to play something that I considered antiquated or maybe soft. You know what I mean? Like, and I just didn't understand because like, I mean, this is when Rage Against the Machine was coming out and stuff. Like you had to rock, like even if it was like hip hop, it had to rock. So when you have to go up there and play like a slow bossa nova in front of 800 people, you know what I mean? It's like, how is that going to work? But I think it's cool when people are secure and they can do that. But I say all that to say a lot of the music that I was trying to like develop in my garage was stuff that like, well, I would never have that feeling because it's going to be like this, it's going to be like that. So it was an outlet, and over time, I think I learned how to present myself to the guys in the All Stars, even to the point when we made What Happened to TV. That's when everything was in real time. Like I could like just open my mouth and say, okay, this is the song. And I could sing the melody and like it would be received. It took, that was in 1997, I believe. No, that was much later than that. But I think you got music that's baked up in a lab, and that's what I was doing with my studio. You can be very idealistic, like about what you want and these kinds of things. When you're in a band, it's very hard to sell that to like a group because it's more of a collaboration and that's painful. There's challenges with that. The process, that's another kind of discussion. Like, how do you do that part? But, so.
It was 2007.
Yeah,
That was your album on String Cheese's label. How'd you end up on String Cheese's label? That has to be a good story.
Well, I mean, I think they had resources, and I think, I think groups like String Cheese probably had more reach than us, like they're more widely accepted and, it just made sense to, work with them. And probably Eric Newson has a lot to do with that too, just being, friends with a lot of people. That's just where it went. And that turned out to be a good relationship, I mean, the music was never bound to like blow up like on a radio scale or anything like that, like we're mainstream. So I mean, what better way than to push it than going through that channel,
They got Stevie Winwood to do an album on their label. That's huge.
Oh,
I
did
mean,
they?
Yeah, he did one of his albums there
That
around that time.
That explains why Carl was on that record. I was wondering because I know Carl played on that. I was wondering how that happened because it seemed a little bit more of a bigger deal than I was used to hearing, you know. But
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.